listening to the Art of Homeschooling podcast, where we help parents cultivate creativity and connection at home. I'm your host, Jean Miller, and here on this podcast, you'll find stories and inspiration to bring you the confidence you need to make homeschooling work for your family. Let's begin. What is it that homeschoolers want more than anything else? A feeling of confidence. I hear this all the time from homeschooling parents. Honestly, this is the underlying desire that I recognize in almost all the coaching I do. Homeschooling parents want to feel more confident. So how do we go about gaining confidence as a homeschooler? The truth is, we just begin. The confidence comes as we go along. We can just decide right now to feel confident in our efforts, because waiting around for confidence to show up is never a good idea. And in fact, that's not really how confidence works. Here's the thing. Most of us have a tendency to believe that confidence comes after we get good at something. It's a mistaken idea that when we get good at something, the confidence will simply show up. A few years ago, I read Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers. And in this book, Gladwell talks about examples. He talks about this concept of 10,000 hours, and he gives lots of examples, intriguing examples of people who've put in 10,000 hours of practice to become experts in their field. The Beatles are an example he uses. Now, I know what you're thinking. You don't want to have to put in 10,000 hours of homeschooling before you start to feel confident. By the way, you'll be happy to know that this 10,000 hour theory has been proven to not be true anyway. Phew. But mastering a skill or talent and feeling confident are really two different things. And that's good news for all of us. Confidence is really a state of mind. Confidence comes from feelings of well-being along with a belief in yourself. It really means having faith in yourself. The bottom line is that confidence is a word we use to describe how we are feeling about our ability to do something, a certain task, a certain role. So to me, the real question becomes, how can we feel confident about something we don't have a lot of experience with? Confidence can also vary a lot in different situations and even on different days, from one day to the next. Today in this episode, I want to share 3 specific things that you can do to feel confident no matter where you are on your homeschooling journey. Now, as I record this episode, I'm in the middle, toward the end really, of leading a group of homeschooling parents through my Plan It Out course. I do this every summer to help homeschoolers get ready for the new year. And so many of these homeschooling parents want to get the plan just right. You might be in that camp too. They want to get the plan just right so that come fall, homeschooling lessons go without a hitch. This is the belief anyway, right? But the truth is, no matter how much planning, no matter what amount of planning we do, that won't give us perfect homeschooling days. And we don't even know if we're on the right track with the plan until we try it out. We have to give the lessons a try and see how they go. Observe our children, how our children respond, and make changes from there. So really, more than confidence, what we want is courage, the courage to take action without knowing. One of my favorite definitions of courage is this: courage means to feel the fear and do it anyway. Another description that I love about the meaning of confidence is feeling right-sized. So back to the conversation about confidence, we want to feel no better than or less than anyone else, but just the right size for us. So not to worry, there's no such thing as too much confidence. As life coach Jody Moore says, you can have confidence and humility at the same time. We all have strengths and weaknesses, but that shouldn't keep us from feeling confident. As I see it, our main job in life really is to accept ourselves for who we are and love our whole selves, not just the parts we approve of, but to accept it all. And here's something interesting to keep in mind. The people around us are reflecting back what we're projecting out. So if we feel unsure or insecure, they'll pick up on that and possibly question us, question our decisions and motives even more. And yes, even our children will do that. But other people's thoughts don't define us, nor do they determine our confidence in ourselves. We get to do that. So here are my top 3 tips for gaining confidence as a homeschooler. Number 1, be willing to make mistakes. As life coach Marie Forleo says, confidence comes from taking action. I love this because getting into action is really the only way to figure things out, as I said. And in order to do that, we have to be vulnerable. We have to be willing to put ourselves out there and even make mistakes in front of our kids, to not be good at something, to be vulnerable. Being a good homeschooling parent is not about not making any mistakes, because you will make mistakes. We all do. Mistakes are inevitable. Confidence includes knowing what to do, how to keep moving forward, and not give up when your day begins to fall apart. And that all starts with being willing to make mistakes. Number 2, visualize your success. So imagine how you want your lessons to go. What feelings are you going for? Connection, focus, playfulness? Also, visualize what to do when those mistakes happen. Visualize yourself in problem-solving mode. This can be a really good thing to do right as you're falling asleep each night, to visualize the next day. And remember, it's never all or nothing. I can think back to our early years of homeschooling and remember when I would feel so worn down by my boys bickering with each other. During circle time, they would bicker, and then some days they would whine and complain about even starting lessons. And I'd feel so worn down that I would give up some days. The negativity would feel like this huge wave overtaking me on those days. But when I began visualizing our homeschool mornings, I was able to regroup when things began, or at least seemed to begin to fall apart to me. And my brain was able to still hang in there. Instead of trying to do everything I could to get them to stop whining and bickering, I accepted that the whining and bickering were going to happen. And then I visualized what I would do in response. Some days it was adding in an element of surprise. Others, it was taking a short break or perhaps using humor to diffuse the situation. This approach proved way more fun, successful, enjoyable for all. And it all started with acceptance and then visualizing things going well. Tip number 3, find a coach or mentor. This was a game changer for me. Here is what a coach or mentor can offer to you. Getting to know yourself, laughing at yourself, reflecting back what you are doing well, Knowing that you're not alone by hearing how your coach handled a similar situation and giving you tried and true suggestions to implement in your house. The best coach or mentor is somebody who's simply further along on the homeschooling journey than you are and can help you not only accept exactly who you are as a homeschooling parent, but also where you are in your homeschooling journey and help you feel good about yourself and make a plan for moving forward. This will help you build your confidence as a homeschooler exponentially. If you'd like to work with me as your mentor, I would love that. I offer 3 different ways that you can do this. One-on-one mentor sessions can really help you get unstuck and gain confidence right away. It often just takes 1 session. The Inspired at Home community offers master classes. These are pre-recorded classes with multiple lessons in a variety of homeschooling topics. So master classes, coaching, and a community of other heart-centered homeschoolers on the same path so that you can learn as you go along. And the Taproot Teacher Training every August offers an immersive in-person gathering that's like a homeschool teacher training, personal retreat, and a weekend at summer camp, all rolled into one amazing experience. You can find links to details of all of these ways I might help you, along with a recap of this episode over in the show notes at artofhomeschooling.com/episode 142. Whatever you do, I encourage you to consider where you are with your confidence. The truth is that confidence doesn't come from thinking you're really good at something. It comes from self-awareness and a realistic sense of your capabilities. Confidence is a feeling and one that you can embrace today by believing that you're willing to try and learn as you go. I hope that the 3 tips I've shared in this episode can help you gain confidence as a homeschooler, because feeling confident is really about knowing that you can handle the emotional outcome of whatever your day brings. Wishing you well on your homeschooling journey. See you next time. That's all for today, my friend. But here's what I want you to remember. Rather than perfection, let's focus on connection. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Art of Homeschooling podcast.